Don't you turn against me.
I felt a great disturbance in the force, as if millions of voices suddenly cried out in terror and were suddenly silenced.
You're not with me, then you're my enemy.
You turned her against me!
You have done that yourself.
Release your anger. Only your hatred can destroy me.
I hate you!
Bring balance to the force, not leave it in darkness. You are the chosen one.
Hello, and welcome to Who Shot First, a Star Wars controversy podcast, your one-stop shop for all controversies related to the Star Wars universe.
I'm your host, Alex, and with me is our other host, Ethan.
And today we are jumping back into our Clone Wars / Attack of the Clones arc, and we are diving into the controversy regarding Hayden Christensen and whether he is a good actor or his acting in that film, Attack of the Clones, is good or not. There are many people that believe that he did a very good job and was perfect for the role, and there are a lot of other people who say that he was very bad and terrible. There are certain people that say also in that subgenre saying that he is a bad actor and should never have been chosen, and other people say that he is not necessarily a bad actor, but as we talked about earlier, the dialogue was awful.
Right. He didn't have much to work with.
Correct. But today, Ethan, we can start it off. So that's our intro. Ethan, what do you know about the Hayden Christensen acting controversy?
Just like that you mentioned that there are, the sides of both those who think that, he's a bad actor and the side that thinks he's not. I am more on the side of he's not necessarily a bad actor, but he was given this very bad script, and so he there wasn't really a whole lot of room for him to shine, for lack of a better term. I think if the dialogue had been written better and the love story wasn't kind of so cheesy and forced, I think he would have come off a lot better to audiences. He would have been received a lot better for his performance, because there's some scenes where I think he just totally nails it. I think that a couple of scenes, not
in Attack of the Clones or the series in general?
In the series in general. We should
We're talking Attack of the Clones here.
Right. Okay. So then I'll dial that back, but
that does go into how he is not necessarily a bad actor, but that the script, the writing was not good. He was given better writing later.
Exactly.
Okay. What do you know about people who say he's bad, or the portrayal itself was bad? Why was it bad? Do you know why people say it's bad?
I guess not specifically, not too many details other than.
Do you think it was good or bad?
I think his performance in Attack of the Clones is bad, but
not his fault. Yes.
But not his fault. Right.
Okay. Why was his performance bad? Like, as in, not when I say why was his bad, we're just saying, okay, you accept his performance is bad, not his fault. Why was the performance bad to you? Why did you think it was bad? What did he do wrong? Or what was wrong with the performance?
Well, okay, so I think he came off as sort of whiny. He seems too headstrong and sort of, they don't so much pick it's like one scene he's talking about how much he loves Obi-Wan, and then other scenes he's talking about how much he doesn't like him. His character sort of fluctuates. Maybe what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Character fluctuates.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I have a whole huge list of things. So do we want to start with good or bad? Let's start with
Let's
bad
start with
because
bad.
start with
Yeah.
bad because that's going to work better for us. So we're starting off with bad.
I got a bad feeling about this.
To start her off, we have just straight up critiques of the performance itself. So before, even just like right after Attack of the Clones was released, New York Times critic A.O. Scott compared his efforts to something you might see on an episode of Dawson's Creek, which for our younger viewers is a TV show back in the early thousands about teenagers' angst and all that jazz. So
Right.
very popular. And it was not well received. He's a Canadian actor with all the personality of a block of wood. Put him in love scenes with Natalie Portman and hope for the best. His totally unconvincing slide to the dark side could maybe have been pulled off by someone with better chops, but Lucas gets what Lucas wants after all. And one final one. He was awarded the worst supporting actor for both Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith for the Razzies. And those are literally the worst. They basically the opposite of the Oscars of your worst, the worst portrayal.
Razzie means you're the worst.
Yep. And he got that for Attack of the Clones. So Grunge also writes that his performance in this movie is pretty much flat all the way through. Even his temper tantrum when he screeches the infamous lines,
"It's all Obi-Wan's fault. He's jealous. He's holding me back,"
can't be believed. In that we don't believe he's actually upset. And the lightsaber fight with Count Dooku at the end, well, let's just say that when Yoda comes in to save the day, he saves the day in more than one sense.
"You're gonna pay for all the Jedi that you killed today, Dooku."
We'll take him together. You're going slowly on the left.
Taking him now.
No, Anakin, no!
Yeah, his banter with Dooku is not good, and his battle with Dooku is not great. Even though it's not technically Dooku, it's a stunt double, but yeah, it's not good.
Oh yeah, no.
So.
Yeah.
Does that bring more thoughts to the?
Yeah, well, I think that, I don't know. Attack of the Clones, there's just so much wrong with it, but I don't think he deserved worst actor, I think,
he's not good in it, dude.
No, and the more I think about it, it's really, it gets harder and harder to defend, to blame it on just the script alone.
No, you can. I will fully say you can. But actors don't get when you get a best actor, if you get on Oscar for best actor, it's not, it's only because of the script that I got this.
No, you're right. And so
So we're not saying here that I'm not arguing that he's a terrible actor. These people are, because again, these are more back in the past, around 2001 when this came out, where they're just reviewing the film. You're not going to dive into, the script was terrible and blah, blah, blah. They're just saying he does not do well.
Yeah. And I would, I think that there's definitely some truth to that. Was that his first role?
No.
Was that his? Okay. I didn't think so. I think he could have just benefited a lot from better directing too,
That's what a lot of people say is because
I think
George is not a actor's director.
Right. If
he got best supporting, he got like a Golden Globe nomination.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh. Huh.
Not for this, but for something between, it came out right between Revenge of the Sith and Attack of the Clones. They got a Golden Globe knob, but after these two, they kind of sank him.
Right. Like I was saying, I think that he could, if George had looked at the scene and just realized how cheesy he was delivering these lines and how cheesy the dialogue was at all.
Yes.
Could have could have benefited him so much more.
But that was our last episode.
That's right.
So-
Tying back to last episode. I feel bad for the guy though, because
Yep.
I think he has potential, but when you have two bad movies, not bad, the third one's not bad, but when you have two movies kind of in that similar realm of script and acting, it really, like you said, really sunk the guy in.
Yep. According to newidea.com, Hayden Christensen's awkward portrayal of Anakin Skywalker's transformation into Darth Vader is downright hard to watch, which I don't disagree with. New York Post states he's absolutely laugh out loud awful as Anakin in the Star Wars prequels, squandering what could have been a generational star turn. Christensen's performance helped sink the already awful trilogy.
Yeah, see, I don't agree with that.
Oh, I do.
I don't think. Yeah, but I don't think it was laugh out loud terrible.
You don't laugh when he's crying and saying, "I killed them. I murdered them. I hate them."
No, I do not laugh at that.
You don't laugh when he says, "I hate sand."
Okay, yes, that part, sure, but
that's laugh out loud funny.
Okay, fine, but I don't like how they're trying to like that. That one scene is. Yeah, I don't think his entire performance is laugh out loud terrible. Maybe because I grew up younger watching that scene in those movies, so it's when I watched it for the first time as a kid, I was actually like kind of, I felt that a little bit, not gonna lie, when he's talking about how he murdered all those Tuscans. And when I grew up and watched it, the older I got and watched it again, I could always see the cheesiness to it and like the bad delivery, but it never really was enough for me to hate it. I can understand where people are coming from and why, how it can definitely be perceived as being so terrible and laugh out loud. But when I watched that scene in particular of him crying about murdering the Tuscans, I'm invested in it. I'm not laughing, but
you're invested in that scene?
No, I mean, I'm not invested, but like I can feel his pain. I can understand, how that anger and where he's coming from.
Okay.
I can, when the part where he's, his mom dies and, I can see that anger on his face and that anger swell within him. And as he, takes out the entire village.
See, I would tend to side on the laugh out loud part where we see his face turning of just like his rage. I thought that was not great.
Okay, now, well, fair enough.
Again, what I think you're interpreting here is I'm finding people that, again, this is the controversy. People think he's really bad. And you're on the side that it's more not necessarily he's bad, but the script he was given was really bad. The dialogue he was given is bad.
Yes.
I tend to agree there. I don't think he's a great actor, but I don't think
he's certainly not like an A+ actor. Yeah.
But like, yeah. So when I hear them say that like he helped sink an already terrible trilogy of like that performance, yes, it did. Was it his fault? Probably partially. Because like if you got a really good actor in there, you might be able to pull something out. I mean, like Ewan McGregor made us love him, even with terrible dialogue. So
yeah,
get a really good actor in there, and he might be better. But he's not a really good actor. He's an actor and put in a crummy situation.
I suppose, but then I see online, people. There's tons of fans who are constantly calling for Hayden Christensen to come back in some sort of reprising
We're not
role.
there yet.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
We're talking about the bad here.
All right. Sorry, I get ahead of myself, but I'll come
I know
back.
because I feel like you're invested in this one. This one you're invested with, and so like when I say stuff, you're like, "Oh, they're making fun of my movie." Oh, and that's good. That's good.
Yeah, for sure. I've
invested. Yeah,
a much bigger connection to the prequels. Yeah, absolutely.
So good. Okay. So yes, we will get to there are a lot of fans out there that love him, that think he's great.
Yes.
And we will get there. So
Okay.
But still keeping on. So according to Cleveland Entertainment, Cleveland.com, they hated Hayden Christensen's overacted, petulant, aggressively horny Anakin. It's shocking just how hard it is to watch Hayden Christensen's performance as Anakin Skywalker. Okay, I'll stop
Aggressively
there.
horny.
You can respond to that. Yeah. You
Aggressively horny. Good Lord.
He is.
No, I know. Yeah, but it's just when you hear that, it's just like, yes, I would agree with that.
Incessant desire to be with her and be like, I'm so pained. Like that's laugh out loud funny, dude. That's laugh out loud performance. There.
Fair enough.
Like, I need you.
That. Okay.
I'm haunted by the kiss you never should have given
me. Okay. Yes. That's it's hard to watch that scene without a big smirk coming across your face. And when you think about how that scene is meant to be so serious.
Yes.
It's meant to be so serious and you're supposed to, be like, oh, Anakin, I feel it, but it just does not come across. Yeah, I know. Right. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
There are, I was thinking about that scene. I would agree with the term aggressively horny.
Yeah. So continuing, it's shocking just how hard it is to watch Hayden Christensen's performance as Anakin Skywalker. Every line makes you cringe. Christensen's performance truly makes you believe you could have done it better. It's a testament to just how great Ewan McGregor, Natalie Portman, and others were in their roles that they were able to carry many of the scenes. Criticism of Christensen has been so harsh over the years that you almost feel sorry for the guy, but sadly, most of it is warranted. That's according to Cleveland.com, 5 casting mistakes.
Does it say when that was written? Just out of curiosity.
I will double check it. Is I believe 2014. Nope, 2019. Or it's posted 2014, updated 2019.
Okay. The only reason I ask is just because, like, it just seems in recent years he's become not so hated.
He has, but there are still people that don't like him.
No, I know. I yeah.
All right, that's all I got on the bad side because apparently we can't handle the bad.
We can handle the bad. I didn't say it was good.
Then what is it?
Some of the bad. It's
if it's not bad, what is it?
Well, okay, it's not
good and it's not bad. What is it?
It's in between. I said it's more, it's not awful. Okay. I don't think it's as bad as some people are saying it is, but is it good? No. But is it, this terrible as people are writing and talking about? I don't think so.
Okay.
I think it is more of the script's fault than it is him.
Right. Yeah. I agree with that.
So, yeah, that's what we've been talking about.
Okay.
I never said it was good.
Okay. All right. Now we get to dive into the positive.
This is where the fun begins.
So as you've been saying, there is a lot of fan support, and especially surrounding Rise of Skywalker, a lot of people wanted Hayden Christensen to come back to
Yeah.
Star Wars and voice and be in Rise of Skywalker. That obviously happened, but didn't happen to the satisfaction of everyone. He had a line.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted to actually see him. They wanted a ghost projection.
Yeah, see, I don't need a ghost projection, because it doesn't make sense if he's a ghost projection because he didn't die.
Yes, he did. He's already a ghost projection.
Yes, but I'm saying having him being projected as the younger version of himself, I wouldn't necessarily like, because then why does Obi-Wan?
That's what canon is, dude. It's canon. That goes back to our original episode of the Star Wars 1997 re-releases. But yes,
right.
No, people wanted to actually have see him as Anakin.
Yeah, see, I don't need that. I would rather either have him, show up in some sort of extended flashback, or which I think they might do with the Kenobi show, but I don't have to talk about that right now.
We'll see.
Yep. Yeah.
Sidebar, we recorded this before the announcement that Hayden Christensen would be returning for the Kenobi series. Now, back to your show.
So, there are a couple explanations here. The first, we'll go with a couple that are saying that it's not his fault. Okay, so according to Pajiba.com, celebrities are better than you. They say their job was like being told to climb Everest without any oxygen or guides while a bunch of people shouted their ears about their fitness. Basically saying like he had an impossible job, and well, yes, Ewan McGregor, Natalie Portman, and Samuel Jackson kind of pulled that off. He was not the expert climber. He was more of like a mediocre climber and didn't pull it off as well. But it was not necessarily what he was asked to do was ridiculous.
Yes, I'd agree with that.
Okay. George Lucas badly wrote Anakin's character and gave him lines that fans find ridiculous or uselessly long scenes. The trilogy is extremely poorly managed. Basically, George Lucas gave him dialogue that is not good.
Exactly.
And another one that I found is Hayden Christensen was the victim of campy dialogue that George Lucas can sometimes write. If you don't own that dialogue, then the audience will pick up on this. It is compounded by the fact that much of the film was performed while standing in front of a green screen rather than in real-world sets. So it was more that he was inexperienced with the CGI, and he was not, as you were saying, the best actor, so he couldn't completely own the dialogue.
Right.
So he couldn't compress it and make it his own, unlike a couple other actors, but it's still bad dialogue by George.
Yes.
And then continuing on that of how George was very particular about what he wanted. So he says, I just think that he didn't own, somebody wrote online, I just think that he didn't own the role because George's direction just didn't seem believable to him or the audience, which is very true. George does not give the best direction.
No, clearly not.
And then lastly, about it not being his fault and more focusing on George, consequently, the most crucial dialogue, particularly the sudden transition from good Jedi about the arrest Palpatine into the guy who kills Mace Windu and bows on the knees of the Emperor just moments later, just didn't seem believable. In fact, it just seems that he was instructed to be almost whiny about being so love-struck, which made the transition to the most evil Sith Lord in the galaxy all the less believable.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it certainly, in some areas, definitely seemed whiny and kind of rushed too.
Yeah, the story is rushed.
Yeah.
All right. Are you ready for my crazy long explanation of why the performance was perfect and George Lucas wrote it perfectly and everybody else is just weird?
You found something about that?
Oh, yes.
Okay. All right, let's hear it.
So here's a short version, and then there's a longer version. But here's a short version I found, and these I found on Quora.com with the question somebody asked, why is Hayden Christensen so awful in the Star Wars prequel trilogy? But these are people that are defending him. So they said, he didn't have the most normal. So this is talking about Anakin, the character. He didn't have the most normal upbringing. Born a slave on a desert planet where, despite his status, he had to know that he was somewhat special with his pod racing abilities and the whole building a fully functional droid from junk. Then abducted/rescued by warrior monks who callously left his also slave mother behind, despite seemingly able to either rescue or buy his mother. Not 2 hours later, thrust into the middle of a major interstellar war while simultaneously discovering that heretofore believed to be extinct line of evil space wizards are not only alive but active. And then given a dozen years of no fun at all magic schooling, Hogwarts, but where childhood isn't even vaguely acknowledged. Robotic and prone to fits of rage is probably a best case scenario.
Okay.
So their argument is that he didn't have a normal upbringing, and therefore Anakin is going to naturally be prone to fits of rage and robotic because he's not a normal child.
Yeah, okay, but that's, that just seems like another cop-out, an over-explanation of, trying to justify a bad script and a less than perfect portrayal.
I just find it so funny that we keep going back. Like, I'm not trying to bash George here, but this just seems to be turning into a George bashing podcast.
Well, how could it not be? I mean, like, it's just kind of baffling, honestly, that.
Yeah, no, I think we'll be doing our George. I have a number of episodes that we're going to be doing on George, and I think we'll be doing them a lot sooner than I thought we would be, just because of how we talk.
We should probably do that episode so we just get it all out
sooner. Yeah,
get it all out on the table.
Multiple episodes. It's not just one.
Right.
So, but okay. So here's a super long explanation of why he is perfect. Anakin is perfect and written perfectly.
Okay.
George did it. So, and George had this all planned out and is perfectly. So,
okay.
This person says, you're born a slave to a mother who is also a slave without a father figure. You have this trait of loving deeply. You want to make things better for your mother, but you cannot. You're a whiz, building pod racers, protocol droids, and all at a young age, but there's no recognition or appreciation. Suddenly, there's this great Jedi master who frees you, but cannot free your mother. At the age of 9, you have to leave her behind and train to be a Jedi, and even meet the Jedi Council face to face. That itself is overwhelming. And now you lose the Jedi Master, who is briefly your father figure, and you've no choice but to turn to his young, hesitant Padawan. Fortunately, things go smooth when it comes to your relationship with him. For 10 years, you train. You're determined as heck to become a great Jedi Knight. You train and train, although regularly having dreams about your mother. He becomes your father figure. You're already 19 and just cannot resist that attractive senator from Naboo. The crumminess during childhood and all those years of training have already made you strong, powerful, and confident. And with those raging hormones, you are very open and frank about what you feel about the senator. You have only one flaw. You cannot control your anger, and you go to any length to protect your dear ones. You have dreams of your mother again, and finally decide to go see her. Sorry, she's been sold. You learn that she's freed, but then captured by vicious thugs, and she dies in your arms. You feel angry and helpless. You go and slaughter their whole village, single-handed. Not justifiable, surely. You do feel a tinge of regret at killing the women and children, but you cannot reverse what has been done. And you are already committed to protecting the senator, who later secretly becomes your wife. As if this was not enough, the Jedi Council hasn't really been totally saintly. You're powerful, but they keep reining you in. Your master is right about being patient, but the Council doesn't seem to really appreciate or like you. You receive the news that your wife is pregnant. You've already been dealing with enough problems and conflicting emotions, and now you have further trouble to keep this a secret, which in itself is quite a job, and your responsibility has clearly grown. And now you have visions of her dying in childbirth. You lost your mother and now have a steely resolve to protect your wife. You are quite intelligent. Your former master had once said there's no fooling you, and these emotions cloud you and allow you to be manipulated by the Sith Lord for his own purposes. You turn to the dark side, still determined to save your wife. Manipulated events convince you of the Jedi turning against democratic principles, and their repeated unpleasant behavior toward you just adds fuel to the fire. But you finally find your own wife and your master aboard the same spaceship, and all heck breaks loose. The one you went to great lengths to protect has arrived with someone who would definitely stop you from going any further, although that was not intentional. You fight, you become overconfident, and you get charred. Your wife is dead. The Emperor says your kids are dead too. You're simply torn. Everything you had is lost, and the only identity you have is that of Darth Vader, one filled with hate.
Okay, you just basically summarized the prequels with that.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're explaining
Okay.
why it's okay. That like that's why he's perfect.
Yeah. What? I mean, okay, it's one thing to like say that, in the article, but it's another like
It's not an article. This is a person
Okay.
just like giving you a list of why his acting is good. Of like these are the extraordinary events that are put upon Anakin. So therefore, his reactions and what he's doing, like he wouldn't be a normal kid. He wouldn't be a normal person.
Yeah, no one's saying he was a normal person. It's just the way it's different about how then he's like, it comes across on screen. I think the emotions and everything he's feeling is accurate to the character, but it's just the performance and how those emotions and those feelings are portrayed with dialogue that are bad. I don't really get what this guy, I mean, I get what he's saying, but it's not.
He's saying that it's a good.
Yeah, okay, but I don't really see the argument for how it's okay. I guess I get it. It just, I don't know, it's weird.
Yeah, like it says like you feel angry and helpless. You go and slaughter their whole village single-handed. Not justifiable, surely. You do feel a tinge of regret at killing the women and children, but you cannot reverse what has been done. I don't necessarily agree with that. I don't think he feels regret. But he's implying that there is acting enough that that's why he acts weird, and that's why he kills, and that's why he does all these things. And so this person is implying that there is reason for why he is stinted, why he is not performing the best, why he's, again, that average teenager of he's not been raised normally. It's basically giving you a list of all the traumatic events. And so then you can be like, okay, well, because he's been raised atypically, it's fine that he's different, that he's robotic, that he doesn't feel things.
Okay. That makes more sense.
Yeah. So like another person says like a few lines of his may be cheesy, but his performance was spot on. Anakin as a character is supposed to be like that. He's supposed to be petulant. He's supposed to be like a weird teenager. I disagree massively.
Yes.
But that's the argument, is that he is perfectly portrayed because Anakin is supposed to be all exactly the way he was.
Oh, okay.
You disagree too?
Yes.
Okay. All right. That's all I got for our positives and negatives. So do you want to see him back in the Star Wars? In Star Wars?
Yes. I would like to see him back. I think that if he were to return, whether it was in some sort of flashback scene in the Kenobi series or, whatever, I think that it would be a chance for him to really give the character another attempt. I think that he would do a much better job because he would have better direction and,
Script.
yeah, and script, and be able to, having played the character already and certainly know what was bad and what went wrong the last time, I think would be a great opportunity for him to really just make that character just cement himself as this really he could really show off how well he could play Anakin and how well Anakin could have been in the first two movies had it had better script and direction.
Okay. I would say I'd be okay with him coming back. I wouldn't be against it. I'm not, again, because I don't think the portrayal was strong and I'm not strongly attached to it. If the story's right, I'd like him back. I will say I don't, and this is nothing against Hayden here. Like, this, again, totally my own bias, and back to the 97 re-releases, I don't want to see him back as a Force ghost. I
don't either.
Yeah, I would like him to come back in a flashback or something, if that's way. But most people believe that the only way he could come back is through a Force ghost, and so a lot of people want that happen. So I would say if that's the only way to bring him back, I would prefer he does not. If he does, I will not be upset, because I understand that it is canon that he is the Force ghost, that the old guy there is no longer canon and does not exist anymore.
And see, that's absurd to me. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I agree.
You died as an old man. Why would you come back as your younger, more handsome self? And also,
I think your son, I'm pretty sure. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, and your son wouldn't recognize. I mean, he would probably figure it's you, but it would be like this complete stranger, basically. And you'd probably be like, "Is that my dad?" Like, okay, like, hey, Dad.
Yeah.
I
think we talked a little bit about this in the re-releases, but the argument for it is that the old man died as Darth Vader. And so when he dies, he goes back to when he was Anakin Skywalker. And that's why he comes in as the young Anakin, is because that's Anakin Skywalker. The old man is Vader. That's not Anakin.
He died. No, but he died Anakin Skywalker.
That's where I would agree. That's where I would say, like, he died Anakin. He had a piece of Anakin in there all along.
Yes.
That's where I would say.
Yes, he became Anakin Skywalker again the minute he threw the Emperor down the Death Star shaft, chasm, whatever.
That's where I would say, but
at that
there are
point,
a lot of people that disagree.
Well, that's absurd. in my opinion.
In your opinion? We should get Sarah on here again to just talk about that, because she's got some interesting. We've had some interesting philosophical discussions about it. So we might do a bonus episode where we just throw that. I'm just like, let's talk about Anakin's Force ghosts.
Yeah. But it just and it doesn't. I don't know how or where he could appear as a Force ghost now that would make any sense. I mean, I guess it would be kind of cool to see him as a Force ghost interact with Ahsoka if they ever do if they do a spin-off Ahsoka show or in The Mandalorian, but that almost just feels unnecessary. I don't know how you could write that into a show without it being just totally obvious fan service.
Well, right now there's not a lot of talk of him coming back. There's talk. No, I lied. There's talk of him coming back as a Force ghost to talk to Obi-Wan in the Obi-Wan series.
Okay. But that doesn't make sense because
no, that's right. No, he's not dead. So never mind. I made that wrong. I made that up. But I don't know. There's talk. You're right. So there's not a lot of talk now. There was a lot of talk going into Rise of Skywalker. A lot of people wanted him to come back as a Force ghost. Now that didn't
Okay.
happen, we don't know if he's going to come back or not. He probably
Right.
won't, and there's not a lot of talk about it now. But before Rise of Skywalker, it was, let's get him as a Force ghost.
Yeah. Have they started filming that Kenobi series?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so. Because I would imagine they could do a lot with flashbacks and him in that show. I feel like the potential for that could be whatever you wanted to do. You know, you could do anything you wanted with that. Have Kenobi reminiscing or missing his friend.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's the most likely. I think if he doesn't show up in the Kenobi series, then he doesn't come back. At least not for the foreseeable future.
We'll see. All right. That wraps up our show.
Yes.
If you want to contact us, you can find us on Anchor at Who Shot First, or you can find us on Twitter at Who Shot One SW Pod. That's Who Shot One SW Pod. And you can find us on Gmail at Who Shot First SW Pod. That's Who Shot First SW Pod. Any last words, Ethan?
I don't think so. I made my case.
Excited for Clone Wars?
Oh yeah.
We start our Clone Wars arc next.
I'm stoked for Clone Wars. Do we want to tell them what the first episode for Clone Wars is going to be?
That's probably a good idea. First episode for Clone Wars is, do you know?
I don't remember the schedule. You got to send me the schedule.
Send you the schedule? Okay.
Yeah.
The first episode is going to be Clone Wars for Kids.
Okay.
And Sarah will be making an appearance on that episode as well.
Excellent.
Making return appearance from her Star Wars holiday special.
Excellent.
So, all right. That is all, folks. And like always,
never tell us the odds.
Never tell me the odds.
People are counting on us. The galaxy is counting on us. Solo, we'll figure it out. We'll use the Force. That's not how the Force works. Oh, really? You're cold?